All right, let's talk about something that's running in the background of our lives pretty much constantly, the ethical rules for data. Today, we're going to peel back the curtain on business intelligence and the code of conduct that's supposed to be guiding it.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a question. Who actually decides what you see online? It feels like magic, but it's not. It's algorithms. And those algorithms are following a set of rules. But who's writing them? Or how about this one? Have you ever searched for a flight, and then your friend sitting right next to you searches for the exact same flight and gets a totally different price? It's wild, right? Well, that's because a whole bunch of data points about you are being crunched in real time to decide that price.
And it's not just about flights. The stakes get way, way higher. Think about something really important, like getting a job interview. A lot of the time, your application is being sifted through by an automated system before a single human being ever lays eyes on it.
So, what's the engine behind all of this? It's something called business intelligence, or BI for short. It's basically the whole process of taking tons of raw data and turning it into really powerful insights. But that's the thing, right? With that kind of power comes a huge, huge question. Are we actually using it ethically?
To really get a handle on this, we're going to break it down into 4 main pillars. Think of these as the absolute foundation for doing BI the right way. The blueprint for a data world we can actually trust.
Okay, pillar number 1, privacy and consent. It sounds straightforward, but it's incredibly powerful. It all boils down to one simple idea. It's your data, so you should make the rules. Honestly, everything else we're going to talk about is built on top of this. And data privacy isn't really about being secretive. It's about being in control. It's your fundamental right to know exactly what info is being gathered about you and have a real say in how it's used. No tricks, no hidden clauses.
I love this quote because it just nails the central problem here. We have the tech to slurp up mountains of data, but that doesn't mean we have the wisdom to know when to stop or when we even should have started in the first place.
And this slide really shows you the 2 roads you can take. On one side, you've got exploitation, super vague terms, collecting way more data than needed. On the other side, you have empowerment. This is where you get clear policies and real, honest-to-goodness consent. It's about respect.
All right, moving on to pillar number 2, honesty and transparency. This is so important because, get this, the way data is shown to you is just as crucial as the data itself. It's all about being upfront and showing the whole picture, not just the pretty parts.
So what does transparency actually mean in this context? It means you have to present what the data is really saying, not just spinning it to fit your narrative. It's about giving the full story, warts and all, including the parts where the data might be a little shaky or incomplete.
You can see it right here. One way leads straight to misinformation, and the other builds real trust. It's so easy to cherry-pick a few data points to make a chart look amazing, but the ethical thing to do? Show the whole trend, even if it makes you look bad. That's integrity.
Okay, so this all leads us perfectly into our 3rd pillar, fairness over bias. And this one is a biggie. It's all about making sure our fancy new data systems don't just become machines for repeating the same old mistakes from our past. This is where things get really critical and, yep, pretty complex.
So what even is algorithmic bias? Well, it happens when a computer system learns from human history. And let's be honest, our history is packed with prejudices. The key thing to remember is that the algorithm itself isn't evil. It's just a really good student, and it learns whatever patterns we feed it, including the ugly ones.
So imagine this. A company feeds its hiring AI all of its historical hiring data. But what if that historical data shows they mostly hired men for a certain role? Well, the AI is just going to learn that pattern and start preferring male candidates. It didn't invent sexism, it just put our existing sexism on autopilot.
So the real ethical challenge here isn't just to stop the AI from being biased. It's to use these BI tools to actively hunt down and fix our own biases. The goal shouldn't be to just reflect the world as it is today. It should be to help build the world as we think it should be, a fairer one.
And that brings us to our 4th and final pillar, security and responsibility. This is all about the promise to protect the data people give you. If you think about it, privacy is about getting permission. Security is about being a good guardian of that trust once you have it.
And this is so much more than just a tech issue or a checklist for the IT department. It's truly a moral duty. It's a fundamental promise you make to people. When they hand over their personal information, they're trusting you to keep it safe.
And that really gets to a massive shift in how you think about it. If you're not thinking ethically, security is just a chore, something you do to avoid getting sued. But when you are thinking ethically, it becomes this deep moral commitment, a commitment to protect the trust of the actual human being behind that string of data.
Okay, so we've got these 4 pillars: privacy, transparency, fairness, security. But what does this all actually mean for you and me in our day-to-day lives? Let's bring this down from the clouds, because this stuff isn't just academic theory. It has a huge impact.
I mean, look at this. We're talking about whether you get hired or promoted. We're talking about whether you get approved for a loan and at what interest rate. It affects the prices you pay for things, and even how resources get divided up in your own community. This is where the rubber meets the road.
When you step back, you realize we're standing at a pretty big crossroads. Down one path, you have systems that create unfairness and just destroy trust. But down the other path, you have systems that actually empower people, that create real value, and that are built on a foundation of integrity.
So the real goal here isn't just about playing defense, you know? It's not just about avoiding fines or bad PR. It's about getting on the offense and proactively building a better world with this technology. A world where these amazing tools actually serve the values we all care about. And that leaves us with one last really important question. It's a question for you, for me, and for every company we give our data to. We all have to keep asking it, because the answer we come up with is literally going to define the kind of future we build.